to finally tell the truth about Donald Trump's classified documents case. And it's big, guys. This is big. So this news is absolutely huge because it may actually prove that things are not exactly what they seem. But what exactly happened? Well, we're going to talk about that today, right? They finally acknowledged that some evidence in the prosecution of former President Donald Trump for hoarding classified documents may have been tampered with. What a shocker. We've been talking about this for a long time now. We have called this out. We felt that this was likely happening. Here we go. So this means that the documents that they found, they were not in the same sequence as all of us saw. They've been shaking some things up a little bit, and these folks can't be trusted. So the FBI raid literally smoked Jack's case. I mean, come on, guys. And anyway, so this brings up the photo that was published all over the mainstream media, the one where documents were scattered all across the floor. There were cover sheets listed as classified that was actually hiding what was underneath the classified papers. So it actually showed a very clear sign that Donald Trump was mishandling these documents, right? However, as you now know, and as confirmed by Jack Smith's team, the truth is very much different than what the media wants you to think. Now, before we get into this, guys, all I ask is that you guys hit the like button for the video. Totally appreciate you guys. Michelle Jones said that photo was a setup too. Exactly. I see a lot of you guys in the comments dropping that truth, guys. What's going on, Guadalupe Rubino? So, so this is what they wanted the world to see, but it's not usually the truth. Now, there's usually some truth sprinkled in there, but they tend to fabricate things, right? But the reality is that the FBI guys, they were the ones who were in charge of moving these documents in this manner, okay? And so, this FBI raid kind of like caused the shuffling of the papers and anyway, so in fact, Jack Smith's team had to finally say that there were some boxes where the order of the items within the box is not necessarily the same as in the associated scans. He was forced to admit this, right? And so his team, they also desperately tried to save face by saying that the shifts within the boxes were what caused the paperwork to be moving around. Yeah, sure, Bob. Or I should say, yeah, sure, Jack. Especially as there are different shapes and sizes of certain items inside of these boxes. So, but you got to ask, shouldn't this be considered as tampering with evidence? If you guys think that this is evidence tampering, please let me know in the comments down below.
Probably saw last night that Jack Smith got caught with his hand in the cookie jar. It was released late last night, and it's a big story. The documents case is a hoax created by them for election interference purposes. And so that one looks like it's going asunder. A brilliant judge saw some facts, and I haven't read what was revealed yet. It just came out. But the document hoax is indeed a hoax. The whole thing is a hoax. All of them are hoaxes, including the civil cases. They're controlled by the White House. They're controlled by Democrat judges and prosecutors that were put there specifically. They hate Trump. And the people are getting it. That's why we just came out. A new Emerson poll just was released about 2 minutes ago. And I'm leading by a lot in every swing state and leading in the general election. And you saw the CNN poll. I'm sure they aren't too happy with it, but the CNN poll was fantastic. So we're here. This is a hoax. This is a judge who's conflicted. Badly conflicted. I've never seen a judge so conflicted. And giving us virtually no rulings. Here I'm not even allowed to say advice of counsel. This is a new one to me. Advice of counsel. When you have a lawyer and the lawyer does something or advises you on something, you say advice of counsel. He said you're not allowed to say that.
Wow.
And so you'll all figure it out. But I think the public has figured it out because the poll numbers are the highest they've ever been.
Even CNN had a report Donald Trump's poll numbers destroying Biden by a long shot. So as long as we don't have like some crazy election interference or some election fraud, I guess we may actually see Donald Trump back in the White House. What do you guys think? Now, I'm about to release another update regarding the election fraud scam that a whistleblower has identified, and then they later arrested and jailed her for doing so. There's another one that's going to be coming out, so make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Make sure you have your notification bell come on, because when I drop that, you guys are going to want to hear what is going on and what they're planning to do for this 2024 presidential election. Nobody's talking about this. I mean, we can't let them steal another election from us. All right, guys. All right. So now, to make matters worse, they admitted that the FBI used handwritten notes to mark some of the classified documents. This is crazy. Okay. I mean, a big issue with this is that they also admitted that some of these handwritten notes may have actually been placed in the boxes as well. Now, again, is this tampering with evidence? How do we know what the FBI put in there versus what was simply collected from Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago residence? You know what I'm saying? Like, they're mixing all sorts of stuff. This is like just compromised evidence, issue after issue. This is like elementary stuff. Like, these guys knew better. So the question is did they do this on purpose or not? Because if this happened with every box in Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago residence, well, there's a chance that this evidence can't even be considered. And this would literally blow Jack Smith's case wide open. And so this situation, according to Donald Trump, is literally getting to the people of the country. I mean, people are getting pissed off as they're discovering this information. And Donald Trump says that he's leading Biden in the polls by this much in the polls because the American people are now finally waking up to what he already knew. Now, a lot of you guys already knew this, but some folks are just now discovering this. And it's literally wild how many people have literally been in the dark all this time, only listening. And I'm not saying they're listening to CNN, they're listening to MSNBC, they're listening to some of these stations that routinely don't really share everything, if you know what I mean. And they're getting their news only from one single source rather than trying to curate and collect and getting, as much of the truth as possible, which actually often takes getting news from multiple sources and then figuring it out your freaking self, right? Anyway, that's what we try to do here on the channel. Give you guys the information that we have curated and share as much truth as possible. Anyway, so now the White House, he's saying that the White House has targeted him in the 2024 presidential elections, which I think at this point, if you have two brain cells to rub together, you kind of already have put this together, that the White House is in fact targeting Donald Trump in the 2024 presidential elections. And it's just blatantly obvious. And these are merely interferences for his campaign trail. However, Donald Trump is becoming much more popular with these cases. It's actually backfiring, which means that his time in the campaign trail, his time in these trials has literally become the campaign trail for Donald Trump. Now, while Trump is busy with his legal issues, his many different legal issues, the president is now busy with a pretty big decision on his hands. He's now considering bringing in, get this, guys, he's thinking about bringing in Palestinians into our country as refugees. Did you guys hear about this? Palestinians into the United States as refugees. Now, are you guys on board with this? I mean, we already have a massive illegal immigration issue going on right now here in our country. Millions of illegal immigrants have entered the country in the last year. And now Joe Biden wants to bring in Palestinian refugees into the United States. I don't know what to think of this. I don't personally know what to think of this yet. I do want to know what you guys think. Should this be done? I know that there's a lot of problems going on over there, so I don't want to be inconsiderate. So I just want to ask you guys, but this is what Joe Biden is planning. He's basically suggesting offering them a permanent home for their safety. Now, one of the plans that has been shared revolves around the decades-old United States Refugee Admissions Program to welcome Palestinians into the United States, basically who have U.S. ties, who have managed to escape Gaza and enter the neighboring country of Egypt. So it's expected that thousands of these people could literally be entering the United States. Meanwhile, the Biden administration continues to avoid and even ignore the US-Mexico border crisis as we know it. So, I mean, let me know what you guys think, guys, because if we have Biden for another 4 years, you can pretty much almost predict what we're going to be seeing more of, and likely a lot more of. Now, even though he failed there, the president was successful in getting the attention of some of our allies. Now, according to Joe Biden, the election at the end of the year would be about freedom, America, and the democracy. Now, he's getting a ton of heat right now for what he said next, because he's now saying that the United States is as strong as it is because we accept illegal immigrants. Can you believe this, guys? Joe Biden is saying that the United States is as strong as it is now because we accept illegal immigrants, not immigrants. Immigrants are fine. Most of America is really from immigrants. But he's saying that the United States is strong because we accept illegal immigrants. Now, this is something that other countries don't do. And Biden basically condemned other countries for not accepting illegal immigrants. Can you believe this? So you already know why he didn't close the border, because he just admitted it either by mistake. I don't know if it was dementia, you name it, but he admitted why he's leaving this thing open. It's not because he didn't think that he has the power. He knows he's got the power. It's not because he didn't know he could issue a executive order to make something happen. He knows what he can do. But he is hell-bent on doing what he wants to do and masking why he's doing it. Anyway, so the president was quoted during a campaign fundraising event where he basically asked, quote, why is China stalling so bad economically? Why is Russia having trouble? Why is Japan having trouble? Why is India? To which Joe Biden answered, because they're xenophobic. Yeah, I'm gonna just go ahead and let that marinate in your minds right now. And that they don't want immigrants. Now, remember, some of these countries that were asked about, they're our allies. So apparently Joe Biden doesn't know about geopolitical relationships, because he just basically slapped a bunch of our allies in the face and calling them out about their own choices. That's pretty effed up. I mean, many voting Americans are against an open border, which begs the question, who is Biden serving with this kind of a border? Which reminds me of Democratic Representative Henry Queller. So Queller infamously criticized the Biden administration for the influx of illegal immigrants through our borders. And it's not every day that you see a Democrat going against the grain, right? Let alone their own president, which is why this next bit of news isn't really that surprising. So you got Representative Henry Queller and his wife. They were recently indicted on federal bribery charges. So the Justice Department said that Queller and his wife were indicted on more than a dozen federal charges, alleging that they took in hundreds of thousands of dollars in bribes. Now, this story is going to sound very familiar to you guys. Robert Robbins, thank you so much, my friend, for the $10 super chat this morning. Happy Sunday to you and to everyone. God bless you. Really appreciate you. Federal prosecutors say that the couple accepted at least $598,000 in bribes. Every time I say bribes, I think you guys know where we're going with this here, right? Keith Morris, thank you so much, my friend, for the $4.99 super chat this morning. God bless you, my friend. Federal prosecutors said that the couple accepted at least $598,000 in bribes from the Azerbaijan oil and gas company together with the bank. So, yeah. Now, prosecutors are saying that the bribes were accepted through, get this, fake consulting contracts through front companies and middlemen into shell companies that were owned by Imelda Queller. Okay, I know there's a lot of hops, in between who got paid, and so that they can kind of muddy the waters on the paper trail of the money transfer, or the money movement. Isn't that called Jesus, money laundering? Anyway, so in exchange for the bribes, Queller then used the power and the prestige of his office to advance the interests of the Azerbaijan and the foreign bank. Now, does any of this sound familiar to you guys? Does any of this sound familiar? If this sounds like a familiar scheme for which people have not been brought to justice, comment down below who you think that this sounds like they may have done something very similar. I want to hear from you guys. I'm going to try to hold off a little bit and let the responses come in. But so they're using the power of one's office to advance an oil company's interests. I mean, this just sounds really familiar, guys. However, the one that you and I are remembering did not lead to any indictments. And I see the comments already coming in. And yes, I'm talking about the first son, Hunter Biden, who critics say used his family name to make millions of dollars for doing practically nothing. Sarah Marie, thank you so much, love, for the huge $20 super chat this Sunday morning. Happy Sunday morning. God bless you. I totally appreciate the support. And you two are amazing. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. But yeah, so critics are mad. Critics are calling it out for what it is. They use his family name to make millions of dollars for doing practically nothing. Queller called out the president for the border situation. Very soft spot for Biden now. That soft spot, kind of like a soft spot in the baby's head. This is a soft spot for Biden, given how people have said that the borders are dangerous. Shocker, right? And now we're seeing Queller in legal trouble. So what does it say to you? Like, you and I know for a fact that corrupt government officials, they exist, right? But this kind of takes it to a whole nother level. But you know, I just want to put this information out here because not a lot of folks are talking about this, and I don't see it on any of the mainstream news channels. So I figured I'd bring it to my community here. What do you guys think about this? Michelle Jones says, "Yep, that sounds familiar." A lot of people calling Barry's third term. Let's see. The plunge mitzer says sounds like the Biden crime family. Wow, Arkansas. What's going on, John Gardner? Arkansas in the house. Let's see. Yeah. Bribeden. Thank you, Mackenzie H. Oh yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy. What's going on? Good morning. I'm lurking. Good morning. Let's see. Alan Lewis. We got North Dakota in the house. Where are you guys watching from? Everyone's representing their city and their state. Go ahead and represent. Where y'all watching from? What country? What city? We got Illinois in the house. We got California, Arizona. What's going on, folks? I see you, Terry. We got the train guy in Georgia. We got Gina Kirk, man, where are you? Gina Kirk, Texas. We got Bridget. Thumbs up. What's going on? Upstate commie New York. Mackenzie H. Oh man, Scabies in St. Louis. All right, guys. Well, I want to thank y'all so much for rocking with me this morning. I got a lot more updates to come. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel with your notification bell turned on, and make sure you drop a quick like for the video. It only takes a second. I really appreciate you guys, and I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one. Happy Sunday.